Hello again, everybody. This is the Mad Professor from the Two Cigars and a Blunt podcast, the Ashed Out After Show podcast, and the Better Than Sex Sports podcast. And I have a question for my friends that like to vote and support the right wing of the political sphere. How is it you say the Democratic Party, Big D Democratic Party, only uses the black vote to gain power and then reneges on those promises made? But then you vote for a party that has to be taken to court to give black people our right and our power to vote. Here in Louisiana, just like many other states, Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, and Florida, just to name a few, the Republicans that are in power are forced to redraw voting maps. They then take those maps in court shop to find a judge that would stop these maps from being used and tie them up in litigation, a lot of times well past an election cycle that could change the way that state's government is run. And like I said, that's currently going on here in Louisiana, where the Republican Secretary of State and Attorney General court shop to find two Trump appointed judges, as is always the game plan and gameplay, to stop the state from being forced to create a second majority voting district, second black majority voting district. Here in Louisiana, the voting age population is 53% black. So we're the majority of the voting population, but we only have one of six black majority voting districts. And that one district does have a black representative. Now, the agreed upon map by the last governor and state assembly was agreed upon to create a new majority black voting district, which would only be the second, like I said, by taking away some of the black voters out of that first majority black district and creating a second majority district. Now, it wasn't going to take away the districts that already existed the way it should, those white districts, those majority white districts that shouldn't exist. It wasn't going to take away those votes. It was just going to take away some votes from the already small majority black voting district. Isn't that funny though? And to fight this in court, some of the white people that complained about it said that this type of equality would lessen their control and somehow inflict damage upon their personal dignity. Tell me how that works. I mean, we're the majority, but we only have one of the representatives of the state. See, it's thinking like this that led to the creation of the Electoral College and why it still exists. And for some of you who don't know, the Electoral College was voted upon and settled as a compromise by the slave-owning states in 1887, if I remember right, where they wanted their power to increase to elect their own, to elect the president, to be better able to elect the president by using the population of freed men and women that didn't have the right to vote anyway, because we were still considered 3/5 of a person, but the population was large enough to where it would have made a complete change, a radical change on the presidency. And so they decided to use a certain percentage of the population as delegates that would select the president based on how the voting population, how the population voted. Now, the Northerners had more population at this point when you excluded the slaves. So they came up with this convoluted way of electing a president. And now it's not truly democratic, small d Democrat, the way most other democracies work. Like I said, the Southern Democrats are what created the Electoral College and kept it viable. Now it's the Republicans that recognize their policies are so unpopular that they can only win the presidency because of the Electoral College. And it's shown to be true recently. Trump only became president because of the Electoral College. Reagan only became president the first time because of the Electoral College. Now, the second time he won popular and electoral, just like George H.W. Bush won after the September 11, 2001 attacks. He won the popular and electoral college vote by a landslide because of his popularity as a war president. and you see this is how rigged the voting system is. You'll have Republicans, and I like to call them repugnants because they are truly repugnant in most cases, will always whine about voter suppression and stolen votes when the system has been set up to do exactly that. It suppresses and steals votes from what should be a majority of voters, but we don't have that say. And they only do it because it benefits them. Now think about this. What would happen if this supposed great country did a great thing and the president was elected by popular vote? The entire population would have a say in how the how the president is voted upon, not just this clandestine group of delegates who select the president on behalf of the population. Do you think we'll get there? Because I don't. There's a lot of people who don't either. There's some people who think that we'll eventually do presidential votes by popularity, but I don't ever think it will be. And forever, that will always give us, something to talk about.